And so we saw the break and retest, right? So this is the 5-minute candle over here. This is the 5-minute candle, and we're going to be breaking down this one over here, right? So we can see 1, 2 breaks above the fair value gap, right? We even see 3 breaks above the fair value gap, just like this, right? So why was this entry over here valid, right? Stop loss just below this area. And we want to be targeting at first the local high over here, right? So why was this entry valid, right? What made this entry valid over here, right? So let's break that down. It's not anything to do with ICT, it's to do with order flow. So we can see prices tapped into this POI, and this is the same 5-minute candle. So what makes this POI interesting is the fact that we had 641 for 553. So there were more aggressive sellers than buyers at this price. So this was 6,300 on ES. Then we saw 461 for 335. Then we saw 270 for 151. Then we saw 30 for 0. So what we saw is we saw more aggressive sellers, more aggressive sellers, more aggressive sellers, right? Despite that, the market broke up once, twice, 3 times on the 1-minute chart. So this is the only reason a fair value gap holds, and this is the only thing that can bring everything in the 2022 model in ICT together. So this is ES in the New York session, right? So if you're a New York session trader, you only need one model, therefore one session and one asset class to make money. And so the way you want to do that is by understanding POIs and fair value gaps with liquidity, and then you want to combine everything with order flow, right? This is the most successful way you can trade the 2022 model. And so we can see aggressive sellers failing, and we can see these aggressive sellers failing as the market rips higher, right? So we can see, just from an order flow perspective, we can see aggressive sellers failing here, and we can see aggressive sellers failing here, right? So when you see aggressive sellers fail, this means that passive buyers are in control. So the only reason a higher time frame fair value gap or a PD array or an inverse fair value gap or a breaker, the only reason these things hold is because there are passive buyers driving the markets higher, right? So that is the only reason the market actually held. So if we just continue to play price on, we can see price rallying higher. And what's interesting to understand is price rallied higher all the way to the previous day high before potentially giving us a reversal, right? So we saw price kind of reversing at this area. So you want to be very accurate. You want to be very accurate with your targets, right? So I first targeted this high and scaled out positions over here. So if I just go to the Discord and show the entry